Did you know your feed wants you to have the latest updates in digital marketing? So you're in luck. I'm JB from Belmore Digital with my digital update for this week, Monday, 16th March 2026. Today is National Panda Day, but it's not all black and white. This week, LinkedIn ads are finally being tested like proper marketing channels. Marketers are rediscovering that disciplined experiments beats clever guesses. Marketing teams are slowly turning into product teams. Companies still fail to measure the interactions that actually lead to revenue. And search demand is escaping the tidy keyword lists we all built our spreadsheets around. The thread this week: run better tests, measure things that matter, and stop treating marketing like a sequence of campaigns that magically succeed because the slide deck looks big convincing. And before I get into it, my Digital Trends 2026 report is out now and it is free. Chock full of detailed strategic insight, it is an essential read for any marketer, founder, or C-suite leader who wants to stay ahead of the game. Your time will not be wasted. Grab your free copy, the link is in the description. Now, if you want to know the full story, go read the full post on belmoredigital.com or watch the full-length video right here on my Belmore Digital YouTube channel. So, get in touch to discuss this with me or drop me a follow to get more of my updates in your feed. LinkedIn ads discover the radical concept of testing. LinkedIn advertising has always had potential, but for years, many campaigns treated it like a corporate bulletin board with a credit card attached. Recently, more marketers have begun running structured experiments across formats, creative styles, and targeting approaches. Instead of one ad and a hopeful budget, teams are testing video against static ads, comparing lead forms with website traffic campaigns, and experimenting with thought leader style messaging. The surprising result is that when marketers actually test things, performance tends to improve. A shocking development, apparently. The interesting part here isn't the ad formats, it's the growing acceptance that guessing is not a strategy. When teams test creative, audiences, and objectives properly, they start learning how decision makers behave on the platform instead of relying on whatever worked in someone else's webinar. There's also a useful reminder buried in this trend. B2B buyers are still people. They respond to credibility, useful information, and messaging that respects their intelligence. When marketers run structured experiments around these factors, the platform suddenly becomes far more productive. So if LinkedIn is part of your lead generation mix, experimentation is not optimal. That is exactly where paid social strategy can help. If your campaign's currently relying on enthusiasm and a decent looking banner ad, it may be time to talk about structuring them properly. Get in touch to discuss this with me or drop me a follow to get more of my updates in your feed. Conversion optimization. Mostly patience and fewer big ideas. Improving conversion rates is often portrayed as a creative breakthrough waiting to happen. In reality, it usually involves spreadsheets, patience, and a steady stream of small experiments. One method gaining renewed attention is bucket testing, where traffic is split between different versions of a page to see which performs better. Visitors are directed into separate experiences, and their behavior is measured carefully. When run properly, this process reveals what actually influences decision. The concept itself is not particularly glamorous. It simply requires marketers to test ideas systematically rather than rearranging headlines whenever someone has a hunch. Yet surprisingly few companies do this consistently. Many teams change layouts, buttons, and messaging without first identifying the problem they are trying to solve. The strongest optimization programs start with a hypothesis. Something isn't working, there's a reason for it, and a test is designed to prove or disprove that theory. Without that step, optimization becomes the digital equivalent of moving furniture around the room and declaring progress. Conversion improvements rarely appear through dramatic redesigns. They accumulate through structured testing and careful observation. That's exactly the work involved in conversion rate optimization. If your website attracts visitors, but conversions remain a mystery, it might be time to talk about a proper optimization program. Get in touch to discuss this with me or drop me a follow to get more of my updates in your feed. Marketing departments are gradually adopting habits that used to belong mostly to product management. Instead of organizing their work around short-lived campaigns, many teams are shifting towards continuous improvement models. Campaigns are becoming part of ongoing systems that evolve through testing, measurement, and iteration. Rather than launching something, celebrating for a week, and moving on, the focus is moving towards long-term optimization. Technology has played a large role in this shift. Automation platforms, analytics tools, and AI systems produce far more data than most teams can comfortably ignore. When campaigns operate as ongoing systems rather than isolated events, that data becomes useful rather than overwhelming. There's also a structural reality at play. Businesses now operate across dozens of touch search, paid media, social platforms, email, websites, CRM systems, and analytics tools. Treating each campaign as a separate project simply doesn't hold together anymore. Marketing increasingly behaves like a product that must be maintained and improved over time. Designing these systems is exactly what my Virtual Chief Digital Officer (VCDO) work focuses on. If your marketing currently feels like a collection of unrelated activities held together by optimism, it might be worth discussing a more structured approach. Get in touch to discuss this with me or drop me a follow to get more of my updates in your feed. The marketing data everyone forgets exists. Modern marketing dashboards are impressive things. They show impressions, clicks, engagement rates, bounce rates, and dozens of other metrics that look wonderful in a meeting. Yet many organizations still fail to measure some of the most important signals in the customer journey. Actual conversations with customers, phone calls, consultations, or direct sales interactions often vanish from the reporting entirely. This creates a slightly absurd situation. Companies measure the first few seconds of a customer interaction with microscopic precision. Then they lose track of the process the moment someone picks up a phone. Unsurprisingly, this makes attribution rather difficult. The result is that marketing teams can make decisions based on incomplete data. Campaigns receive credit for revenue they didn't generate, and others are quietly blamed for underperformance when the real cause sits further down the funnel. Better analytics isn't about collecting more numbers. It's about connecting systems so that marketing activity can be traced to real outcomes. That is exactly what analytics and performance strategy is designed to address. If your reports look busy but still leave everyone guessing about revenue drivers, it may be time to talk about improving the measurement setup. Get in touch to discuss it with me or drop me a follow to get more of my updates in your feed. Search demand is escaping the keyword spreadsheet. Search behavior is becoming increasingly complicated, which is unfortunate news for anyone still relying on a neat spreadsheet of target keywords. Instead of a handful of popular terms driving most traffic, demand is spreading across thousands of niche queries, questions, and conversational searches. This expanding pattern is often described as the infinite tail of search demand. Several factors are pushing this shift. People are searching using longer, more specific questions. AI-generated answers influence how search results appear. And users increasingly expect search engines to understand intent rather than match exact phrases. For marketers, this means the tidy keyword strategy of the past is gradually losing effectiveness. Ranking for a short list of high-volume terms is no longer enough to capture meaningful visibility. Websites that cover subjects thoroughly tend to perform better than those built around isolated keywords. SEO strategy is therefore shifting towards topic authority. Businesses that publish clear, useful information across related subjects signal credibility to users and search engines. That's exactly the work covered in my search engine optimization (SEO) services. If your search strategy still revolves around a small list of keywords in a spreadsheet, it may be time to talk about building a broader presence in search results. Get in touch to discuss this with me or drop me a follow to get more of my updates in your feed. And that's a wrap. The thread this week is fairly clear. Advertising platforms reward structured testing. Conversion improvements come from disciplined experimentation. Marketing teams are starting to behave like product teams. Measurement still misses the interactions that actually drive revenue, and search demand continues to wander far, far, far beyond tidy keyword lists. None of this is particularly new. What is new is the shrinking margin for getting it wrong. Businesses that treat marketing as a structured system tend to move ahead fairly quickly. The ones relying on guesswork, vanity metrics, and optimistic slide decks usually discover that enthusiasm is not a growth strategy. If any of these issues sound familiar, it's time for a conversation. Whether it's analytics, SEO, paid media, or conversion optimization, getting the fundamentals right still makes the biggest difference. My Digital Trends 2026 report is also out now and it is free. If you are a senior marketer, founder, or in the C-suite, this is the read that will put you at the forefront. Grab your copy. The link is in the description. If you want help cutting through the noise and turning change into progress, get in touch via the details in my profile. And in the meantime, don't forget to drop me a lovely follow to get more of my updates in your feed. Cheers.